Yo, aujourd'hui on se retrouve pour un nouvel épisode de Tips and Tricks et je suis dans les couloirs de l'Opéra de Paris et je vais interviewer Papageno. Il est en train de se chauffer en ce moment. On va toquer.
Oui.
Hi.
Hi.
Can I come in? Yes?
Of course. Yeah, please.
Wow, it's your dressing room.
Yes, it is.
Impressive one. Okay, thank you to welcome me.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. Je dois juste préciser que c'est la première fois que j'enregistre une vidéo en anglais, donc il va falloir être indulgent avec mon accent.
It's perfect. It's better than my French, so.
Okay, so that's good.
Yes.
So, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah. My name is Huw Montague-Rendall. I'm an English baryton, trying to sustain my life by singing, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so here you are doing tonight Papageno.
Yeah.
Is it the last show for you?
No, I have two more.
Okay. But it's your first time at Opéra de Paris.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Was it a dream?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's one of the greatest houses in the world. You only think of it as a pipe dream miles away when you start, and then suddenly you're here, and it's a weird feeling, but it's great. It's hard not to be intimidated by by not just the theatre but the city, and coming into Paris and being an English person in Paris is always quite scary. But then you come to the theatre and it's this amazing, huge barn of a theatre, but it's a gift. It's marvelous.
And is it easy to start with Papageno, as it's a role that you already sing several times?
Yes, I think so. I think it was lucky that well, maybe not lucky, but down to some good planning. I think that I was able to do a role like Papageno that I've done a few times now. So I felt confident coming into this house, knowing that what I could bring to the stage was going to be comfortable for me.
Yes.
It was never questionable whether or not I would enjoy it or not. I know that I love this role, I love this character, and it makes the debut much more comfortable.
Yes, so. But how do you do to bring some freshness to Papageno, as you already sing it several times? Isn't it too hard to sing always the same role? Well, in different staging, different houses, but how do you not get bored about it?
It's magic. You have, I mean, it's magic flute.
Yeah.
You can't get bored with magic flute. It's such fun. You have different colleagues, different stagings, different costumes, different makeup, different crazy hairstyles, usually as Papageno. So it's an unending array of possibilities that you can achieve.
Yeah.
Being on stage with one different colleague, two different colleagues, three, an entire cast of different colleagues. Or if you come back to working with people that you've done it already with, you always find something new. I approach every performance as if it's happening there.
Yeah.
You do the staging, but the nuances are different. The atmosphere is different. You have a different audience. You have a different energy between people on stage. So something new is always going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I don't get bored of it, because especially as Papageno, he is kind of always away doing his own thing. So you can kind of do your own thing and make it fun for yourself. Yeah. That way.
And about the audience, can you feel that there's different audience from a show from another?
Yeah, for sure. And you have the weekday audiences, and you have the weekend audiences, you have a matinee audience. They're all different energies. So here, on a Saturday, you have usually a full house with a big energy of a Saturday or Friday night. Audience full of energy, full of weekend vibes. Maybe they've already had a glass or two, which is always encouraged if you come and see the magic flute. And sometimes it can be, if you have a bad weather, if you have a stressful surroundings of a day, if something, like recently in England we lost the Queen, right?
Yeah.
And I can imagine that there was a somber attitude everywhere, so everything was cancelled, of course, but had there been audiences, it would have been a little low energy, perhaps. I'm not sure. So anything can affect the mass public energy, and which then it does transfer and changes things on stage too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask, is if this audience energy is transferring to...
Oh, absolutely. We feed from applause, from laughter, from extroverted energies and sounds and noise and connection. You can tell when an audience is really focused on what you're doing, because they don't fidget or cough or sneeze or anything.
You already experienced that?
Yeah, of course.
People snoring?
Sometimes, yeah. They always sit behind the conductor as well. We have the monitor like this. There's a TV screen behind you, by the way.
I'll show you after.
And you see the conductor, and it's always the first 3 or 4 people behind the conductor just fast asleep.
Because they are old and...
Well, no, I don't know. Sometimes not. But I just think it's probably the most expensive nap they'll ever have. So there we go. Why not?
Yeah. Your parents are singers, right?
Yeah.
Has it always been a goal to be singer because of them? Also, on Instagram, someone asked me if their parents gave you some are you a vocal coach?
I'd always been around it. My parents obviously were in the theatres all the time, so therefore I was in the theatres all the time, listening to some of the greatest singers that we know of on record as my parents' colleagues and friends. Like, I share walls with some of the greatest singers of my time, which is quite amazing really, but it was normal for me to be in this world, and I didn't ever think that... I knew there was life outside of this world, but I never wanted to necessarily be in the opera world. I wanted to be a policeman. It's just hilarious, all my friends laugh when I tell them this. And then I wanted to be, I started singing.
At what age?
Well, I was in a rock band from the age of 9 or something.
Wow.
Until about 19, or 18. And we made a recording when we were about 15, when my voice had finally dropped.
Yeah.
And my parents listened to it, and they said, you could have a career here. You could have or you could sing if you'd like. Not a career. I mean, we weren't thinking about it, but you could sing if you'd like. And I was like, okay, I'll try. So we sang. My mum gave me Papageno's to learn.
Okay.
And my dad taught me, the beginnings of technique, breath, position, etc. And then when I was about 18, I started wanting to take it more seriously. So I auditioned for music colleges and kind of fell into it. It was such a part of my life. But also I came to it quite late, which is strange. Yes.
It was not like a dream from your 9 years old to become a singer.
No. I was always interested in theatre.
Yeah.
I was always interested in acting and in characters and in dynamic of people between one another. My sister and I used to put on, make fancy dress costumes and pretend that we were acting out plays and operas, and we used to sing. That's broken in memory. We used to sing but not say anything. We were like, blah, 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 blah. Completely annoying the crowd of our neighbours, I'm sure. When we were kids. So maybe there was something always there wanting to do it, but it was a theatrical thing for me at the base of it.
Not the singing thing. And the second question, was also, are they your teacher now, still?
So I will talk to them to no end about singing now, and we will discuss the intricacies of Mozart recit and or technique, vocal technique. But they're more there as my guidelines, my guiders, But at the beginning, my dad taught me, and my mum. Well, they both still are very prevalent in my life of if I'm doing a new role or if I'm visiting an old role, for example, always finding new things to help with what I do. So they're still definitely there in guiding my inspiration, I suppose.
Yeah. There's no pressure behind that.
No, not at all. Never. People always seem kind of confused when I say that there's no pressure. I'm sure when I started out and I started studying at college, everyone was always like, oh, well, we know your parents. And I was like, oh, great, nice, okay. And then it got a bit tiresome, but I never felt any pressure. People say, oh, you've got big shoes to fill. And I was like, well, okay, fine, I'll take a different path. Yeah. Luckily, I get compared to my parents in the best light, usually. And I'm very proud to take their names with me. So it's never a bad comparison or a scary comparison to have to make.
So cool. As a singer, do you have a specific lifestyle? I don't know, maybe about drink or going out with some friends to preserve your voice, or...
I love going out and drinking with my friends. It's one of the joys of life, so why should we not do it?
I don't know, because of the noise around to...
Yeah, of course, you've got to be careful. You can find a quieter space, or don't sit outside when it's raining, but we all make those mistakes, because sometimes you just have to say, there's nowhere else to go and I want to be with my friends, or after performance, for example, we'll probably go for a beer. It's a little reward at the end of the day. But I know colleagues who don't, and that's completely up to them. Yeah. I know I can work.
Because you know your limits too.
Yeah, of course. I don't go out and get blind drunk before a performance, or during a run of performances. But Christmas, New Year, why not?
Yeah, of course. Yes, because I know some singers are really careful about that, and sometimes when I go to the restaurant, I'm always careful, because I know sometimes I'm like fragile, so I have to be careful. And if we go to the restaurant with my friends, I say, can we choose maybe a place like quiet, chill, not like the big pub with the big music,
Exactly. But that comes with it as well. If you're going out with your friends who are also singers, then you're of course you're all going to be like, yeah, we're not going to go there if it, because you want to talk to other people as well. I did the whole scene, and you always feel crap for 2 days afterwards, and vocally, and because you speak too loudly and shout, of course. Yeah. But yeah, it's finding the right environment for yourself to be in, and don't feel bad if your friends are like, if you ask them to say, can we go to a quiet place? I mean, that's because this is part of you and you need it. Yeah. Right?
We can't put it in a box.
No, but you can mitigate everything around it to help preserve everything. Yeah. And not do anything to really harm yourself, because you do need it at the end of the day. And people do understand that you do that. I mean, smoking, drinking, everything else is dangerous, but people can find a balance to do it.
About balance. How do you find a balance between your private life and your artistic life while you are in Paris, but you're not living in Paris? So your family is in England, right? But now you're in Paris, maybe then later you will be in Berlin. How do you deal with that? With maybe the loneliness?
Yeah, well, luckily I'm travelling with my girlfriend right now, which is ideal. She was just singing at the Opera Comique. Okay. And then we go and we do Tafelflöte together in Strasbourg straight after, so that is really lucky planning for now.
She's singing Papagena?
Yeah. It's ideal. I mean, she's one of the best paminas around, but, we thought, why not take this chance to be together? It's ideal. It's ideal. Otherwise, we've done our time apart, when you have 6-hour time difference. If I was in Chicago last year and she was in okay. So we have that, which is really lucky, but otherwise it's a hard life. Like, you can be 6 hours time difference or plus. You can be in the middle of a city that you don't really feel connected to, doing an opera that's necessarily quite difficult or quite draining on the emotions. But at the end of the day, you have to pinch yourself and say, I'm lucky I'm working, and also I've chosen this. I don't have to do this. I do not have, there is nothing forcing me, gun to my head saying you have to do this. I'm doing it because I love it, And that's the basis of everything. It can be lonely, it can be sad, and it can be frustrating, and it can be tiring and demeaning. We get to express ourselves in a way that we, well, to be a little bit cliche, we're born to do. And we're very lucky to be able to do that because not a massive percentage of the population can say that they do what they love, really. Yeah.
Yesterday I was at the grocery store and I saw some people walking in and they seems to be like bored. And I was like, oh, I wish they could do something they love more than anything. And I went out and I was like, okay, sometimes I'm fed up with music because I'm not where I would like to be and I have so much work to do more, but I'm lucky to do what I love and I should stop to...
Of course, and that's it, but we all do, we all crack the whip, we all chastise ourselves to get to a place where we want to be, but that's always going to be, it's like hanging a carrot in front of your head, right? You're never going to reach it because it's always moving further away. You reach one step and then you're like, oh, well, now I want that. So, come here. But that's part of the journey, and then if you do have these moments of lucidity and go, why am I complaining? Or why, look at where I am. Just enjoy being where you are. Tomorrow you get hit by a bus or something. So just enjoy where you are now. I mean, I meditate on that feeling a lot, thinking that we are just the needle point of a rocket ship going through space right now. I mean, it sounds a bit crazy, but it helps me think that there is no future. It hasn't happened yet. All we have is like now. Exactly, and if we get pulled into the fact of the future too much, it can be really upsetting or scary. But if you just take for where you are right now, in your career, I'm speaking specifically as a singer because it's always changing, these little things always change and go through different things, but you can't fixate on tomorrow because it hasn't happened yet.
So you just have to live what is happening now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can worry about it. Last night, I go to bed and I'm like, I've got a magic flute tomorrow. Oh no. Then you go, well, I can't change what's going to happen. You become part of this universe and you roll with the punches.
Yeah. With audition and competition, I guess it's the same.
Yeah.
You can do your best. The decision, it's not up to you.
No.
So you just have to accept, receive, and deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. But you can. The only thing that is going to subdue your stress and your nerves is preparation.
Yeah.
Be prepared. Enjoy the journey to become prepared. Don't start. I mean, and I am saying this to myself because I do this all the time. I'm learning Hamlet, I told you earlier. And if I sing a phrase that's shit, excuse my language, but if it's not very good, I get like, oh, come on, why? Then I think, well, you're aiming too high, just trying to figure out the gaps in between first, and then, you can get there. So don't overshoot for something that or don't get frustrated with something that if you haven't got there yet, because you still have a journey to go and you can enjoy that journey more.
Yeah.
Which is therefore going to fill in it's not going to be a hollow preparation, you'll have a full preparation.
Yeah. I remember when I interviewed Léa Desandré, she said that Joyce Di Donato told her, enjoy the process. And she said that she was like, okay, yes, but how to sing like you? I don't care about the process.
And now everyone's like, Leah, how to sing like you? And that's it, absolutely. Yeah.
And I had a question, you're quite young. Is it hard sometimes to find self-confidence? Do you have sometimes some trouble to have self-confidence or?
Of course, I'm an artist. Confidence is our constant battle. That's the main obstacle, I think, in the way of most artists, no matter painters, musicians, whatever. We are constantly battling our own sense of worth and where we find our sense of worth.
How do you deal with that?
Take it as it comes. Some days I'll feel worthless and some days I'll feel great.
Yeah.
You can't control these things. It's not a way of living just to be like, I have to be confident all the time. Sure, you have to portray confidence on stage.
Yeah.
You have to have the confidence in order to get out of your dressing room and go on stage and of course sing in front of people. That's different. That's preparation confidence and experience confidence. I feel honestly that the more I do and the older I get, the more nervous I get. Because then you have something to live up to, and people start saying, that's not as good as it was last year.
Okay.
Or, well, up here they start saying that. I don't know if they're saying that in the public because I don't want to hear it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I can see your point. I haven't thought about that actually. That, yesterday I was great and today I was not. What happened?
We put too much weight on ourselves, I think. Of course, we have mouths to feed, we have clothes to buy, we have heating to pay for, unfortunately. More heating to pay for. There's enough pressure on that, so why not enjoy what you do anyway? So just instead of fighting with doing it, go out there and make music and have fun. That's where I find my confidence in exploration, I think. And then you find different things. So if you explore for something, not necessarily looking for anything in particular, if you just go and like, that happened today, you can take these things with you and they give you confidence next time.
How did you handle the beginning of your career? Competition, auditions, maybe disappointments?
Sure.
You're going to say, has it come?
What career? Competitions, I have a funny relationship with competitions. I don't like them. I think it's wrong to judge art and artists because everyone's different. There's not saying that someone who presents something is better than someone else. I did a couple when I was at college as experience, and I was very lucky. I did well in some of them. They're not for me. Some people need them. Some people want them to boost their careers. I think it's a very good way to boost your career if you need that boost. However, for me, I think that they can be very detrimental to an artist's mental capacity and mental health, because you put your worth on 2 or 3 people saying someone is better than you. And of course, in the world, someone will always be better than you. We know that. We don't mean to be right. I don't think. Go at your own pace. Go on your own path. I started very young. I left college after 4 years of undergraduate. I went to Zurich. I went to Glyndebourne first, but I went to Zurich in the Young Artist Program when I was 22. I was a baby. Really, I look back now and think, how did I do this? I started early, and I was lucky as well. I was prepared and I was ready to start, but I was also lucky with the experiences that I got. I sang my first role outside of Zurich was Harlequin in Ariadne auf Naxos in X. Right, it was a huge deal to walk out of an institution like the Young Artist Program in Zurich and go straight on stage to a role like that. I was very lucky. But also then you have months with no work, and you think, why have I put all my eggs in this basket? I have no money, I have nothing to do. Again, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Then you just say, well, there we are.
Yeah.
Things will come. I can always, work in a cafe for the time being if necessary. I still have these thoughts. Like, what if tomorrow I wake up and my vocal cords have fallen off or something? What's going to happen? Who knows?
Yeah. You'll find a way to build another thing. Yeah.
We have to. We're people. We're resilient. That's what we do. It's what we do as humans, right? I found my way into this career. I can find my way into something else, I'm sure. Blank my way into something else, maybe.
I couldn't imagine how could I live without. Now I discover how to sing on stage. I was like the first time. It was in Faust last July.
Great.
I was in the choir, but with the energy of everybody, I was like the first day with the audience. I was like, shit. For sure, I want to be all my life in this movement, in this
It's addictive,
energy.
isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's like, give me my dose, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And then you want more of it, and then you want more of it.
Yeah, and then when you come back home, you can't sleep because like
No.
you're too excited about it.
That's why we go and have a beer after the show. It's,
Yeah.
it is, but it is. It's an absolutely amazing atmosphere to be around because then you have adrenaline. Especially when you're starting, if it's your first experiences, you're like. I remember when I was 16 years old. Was I 16? Yeah, I was about 16. I was at school and I sang Joseph in Joseph the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. And you know, I didn't have any idea of performing or performance like anxiety or performing, like how to prepare for a show that night. So I'd go out and play rugby and football all day with my friends and then go and do this performance at night. And I'd come back and I couldn't sleep. And I was like, what is going on? Why? I could sleep through anything before that. And then after this performance, I was like lying awake going, all the music going round and round and round in my head. And I told my mum the next day, what is wrong with me? Why could I not sleep? She was like, yes, welcome to this life. Welcome.
Have you ever felt pressure with social media or maybe sometimes theater? And how do you deal with it? Do you work on it with yourself about, social media now in opera industry is really important.
I post because I want to.
Yeah.
I don't have any pressure. I've never been told I have to.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because I already do. It's part of my generation, right? We all have Instagram, Facebook, etc. I have a big problem with it though. Really.
Like addiction?
No. Yes, as much as we all do, you know, instead of reading a book, I'll be like,
yeah,
reels, you know. I don't have TikTok though, which is I'm quite proud of.
Don't.
No. Well, I think I would not really. But I think we put too much self-worth on how people perceive us through social media. It can be quite dangerous. I talked to a lot of my younger colleagues, friends who are starting out, and you see them really trying to find self-worth through social media. It doesn't exist. It's not real. It's not a real thing. You're given algorithms to get you addicted, and then you see people doing things, only posting the best of what they can do, right? And I'm guilty of that too, of course. If I record myself practicing, it'll be the moment I practiced 1,000 times and I'm like, right, okay, I'm ready to film this now. And sometimes not. Sometimes I'll post something being like, you know, I look like hell, I'm in my pajamas and I've got bed head still, but you know, why not? I think we put too much on it too early on to want to be, you know, like an influencer or like not an influencer, but you know, 100,000 followers, or because then you know that you've made it.
Yeah.
And I feel good, honestly, when I come out of a show and I see people have started following me. And then I'm like, it's nice, and it's good to see what people are doing, and you can follow them back if you want, and have contact with an audience, which is good. But it's a different stage having that than searching for something. I remember when I started really trying for a period of time, trying to figure out Instagram and like how to get more likes, therefore I'd get more followers, therefore I'd get more work. Doesn't work like that. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work like that. Or it shouldn't work like that anyway. All we have really is I come from here, I put my costume on, I go to the stage, I sing, I come back, I eat, I go to bed. Things that are real, right? Yeah. It's not a real thing. If people have different ideas, tell me, write to me why you think that I'm wrong, and we can discuss it, I think. But
yeah.
Do you agree? Like, do you have...
Yeah, of course. I
don't just want to diss social media in front of you.
No. I completely agree. I would prefer to read a book before I am going to bed, you know, but I am like with my phone and...
Of course.
And sometimes I'm like, okay, tonight, turn it off. Because I see colleagues doing things and I'm like, oh, they are here and I am here. okay, sometimes there is a bad side.
Of course.
That's why I'm trying to preserve myself, just do my work, and not push pressure on me with it, because it's not the goal. The goal is just have a good technique, sing, work, and that's all.
Exactly. It does encourage comparison as well, right? Because you see that and you're like, why is that not happening to me?
Yeah.
Why don't I look that good? Why am I not singing in that theatre? Why? And it can be so damning, and you feel like you've been pushed down.
Yeah.
So why do we do it to ourselves? Because it's negative.
Define a good way.
Well, because then when it balances out and you post something good and it gets a lot of likes and you're that person, then you're like...
Yeah, you're like, oh, I get the approbation of people, that's cool.
Exactly, this is nice. But then you have someone else reading your stories being like, oh, why are they like that, you know? And you can put that kind of hurt on other people as well.
Yeah. What you feel about people can feel it about you, you know, it's like... So yeah, I completely agree with you.
But we also forget that a lot of people that are doing, you know, careers have teams, they have managers, they have social media people doing all of this for them, and it's not there.
Yeah.
Social media experts and stuff. Sorry to rant you out, my colleagues who have social media experts.
We love you.
But we do, we love you, and we need these people. I've thought about it all the time, but I don't have a big enough following on Instagram or anything to warrant that kind of thing yet. I can control it on my own.
And I have maybe the last question, because your makeup thing is gonna come.
Yes, I'm going into makeup, yeah.
What tip would you give to a young baryton or to the young you, if you could change something?
I would probably say, don't worry. Don't compare yourself to other people. Find your voice. Find your voice of how you in your characters, learn your repertoire. But go steady. Don't compare. Don't be frustrated. Of course we need healthy competition. We need to compare ourselves to other people. But don't put so much weight on yourself to become the next something. If you take yourself there by yourself, you can become the first whoever you are. Yeah. Which is a nice, more comfortable, more rounded experience, I think, to get to that stage where you can be yourself.
Yeah.
And you're not being like, well, this person did this at that age and this person did this at that age.
So be more connected with yourself.
Yeah, try and understand your journey and go with it. Don't run before you can walk, because you can trip and get, you know, unmotivated, dismotivated, I'm not sure. But as long as you can pick yourself up, I suppose, then you'll be alright. And sing aria antique. Sing the Yellow Book. Sing it. It's the best thing. Learn every song in there. I'll warm up in 5 minutes with Caro mio ben or Amarilli or Aujourd'hui. Do it.
Yeah.
Because it's the best thing. People are like, you don't need to sing those, they're too easy. No, they're not. They're actually some of the most difficult things that you can sing. If you can sing those, you'll understand your technique.
Yeah.
Do. And sing your voice. If people are like, oh, but your voice is too big and too whatever. And all this stuff is amazing for that as well. If you need nuance and taking it back to learn how to sing Caro mio ben. If it's good enough for Carlo Bergonzi to open his recital at the Royal Albert Hall, I think we should all sing it.
Yeah. So, thank you for receiving me in your room. And j'espère que ça vous a plu. Moi, j'ai trouvé ça trop cool. Cool. I said it with an English accent. I don't know. I'm cool. I don't know why.
Trop cool.
Trop cool. And to say goodbye, I just said doing this. So we say goodbye and bye bye.